What's up, you guys? Welcome to this channel. Today I am doing something slightly different. I'm going to be showing you how to bake a cake using a jiko, okay? And so because I already started making the mixture, I'm just going to show you the mixture right away before we proceed with the next steps. So there we go. That is the cake mixture. I think I'm just going to explain. That's the consistency. I don't know how. Yeah, that's the consistency that we have. And the flour that I'm using is this ajab, and then just normal baking powder, Mariandazi. And so yeah, I thought, what should I do with my time? I was feeling like eating cake, and so I thought, why don't I bake it and probably show you guys. So I'm just going to explain the ingredients because, as I said, I already started the process, and the reason why I'm on the sink is just so that I don't make a huge mess on the tables, but so that it's easier to just wash out all the mixture and the flour that may spill over. So this is our I used a small sufuria. Just, you can use a bowl, you can use anything that is big enough to. And then this is the size of the cooking stick that I am using. And so in here we have 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and then we have 1 egg, which I know most people use I think 2 eggs for 1 cup, but I used 1 egg because I really don't mind having so many eggs in a cake. Besides, I'm gonna be eating it alone, so the ratio of egg is gonna be a lot. And then we also have sugar. I don't know how to measure I don't have the measurements for the sugar, but then I used let's say 2. You know how you may do this with your hand, so you like scoop this just once, okay? Because I didn't, I just measured it with my own eyes, so we don't have the exact measurements. And so normally you want to start, you separate the dry mixtures, you mix them kando, and then you come to the wet ingredients. So the wet ingredients is your eggs, your cooking oil. That's what I actually forgot, it's part of what is in here. Your cooking oil, your milk, and yeah, those are the wet ingredients. And then if you use, I don't know, the vanilla extracts or any other flavors, that will be part of the wet ingredients. And then when it comes to the dry ingredients, you have your actually sugar is part of the dry ingredients, but it's normally put in with the wet ingredients so that you can stir it to help it start dissolving. And then you have flour, baking powder. Of course, you're gonna you take your mixture of flour, and I just used a small bowl, like this, average this size. Just ignore these are ginger in here, but something like this. You put your flour using your whatever cup that you have used to measure with, and then 1 tablespoon of the baking powder. You mix, you try mixing until you assume that the baking powder has gone all over the flour, and then you stir all the lump are gone, okay? So this is it. This is how far we've gone, and then I'm gonna show you the jiko because I also had to prep the jiko. Making this mixture is so quick, but then guys, we all know that quote-unquote tough economic times that we are in, and you know that KPLC is increasing tax on power costs, the cost of electricity bills, and people are out here wondering how they are gonna be cooking and probably baking using their ovens, because it's to the point where you have to get rid of majority of your electronics that actually consume a lot of power in your house. So if you are one of those people facing those problems, you might want to go out there, buy yourself a Jiko, probably a Jiko Core, because it saves on the amount of charcoal you use, even though, you know, global warming, we are going against charcoal burning. But hey, this is what we have, this is what we are working on. So I'm just going to assume that you know how to light a Jiko, right? If you don't know how to light a Jiko, it's not that hard. You're gonna learn, or you're gonna ask someone to help you. And so you just let me show you. So this is gravel, and so you just put it in the sufuria way sort of like 30 minutes ahead. It's almost like you're preheating the oven, okay? And then this is how the fire is looking. So you can see it's really hot, and so that means that the sand is also really hot and it's ready to go. You can just feel it like this using your hand, but don't get your hand down on the sand because you're gonna burn, okay? And so I'm going to show you how we're going to be putting our cake in our quote-unquote oven, because it's really an oven, not it's a charcoal oven, not an electric one. So we are on to our third step, because the first step was making the mixture, second step was preparing your Jiko, your charcoal burner. Then the third step is now to put the cake in the oven, right? So what you do is you want to get your baking sufuria or baking container, whatever you want to use. I just use a simple sufuria like this. It's a pretty medium size sufuria, because you know the cake is gonna rise and you don't want it to spill over or go push the lid out. So I'm just going to show you. In this step, you're gonna need butter and a little bit of flour, okay? So that we're going to line the sufuria down to sort of this height where we assume the cake is going to rise up to, so that it doesn't burn and it's easier for you when it's ready to just get it out. This is definitely the simplest step. You won't say you don't know how to do it, because it's basically lining the sufuria or the material that you're going to use in your baking, lining it with butter, and then using flour just to help you not get your cake burning, and also to make it easier when you're getting it out. Okay, I'm going to show you when it's finally ready. So as you can see, that's the result. But now for areas like this where the butter didn't go onto, this is where the cake is going to stick to. So you want to get your butter down there and then more flour, and then you can see the layer that has formed around the sufuria. That is where we assume the cake is going to rise up to. Now we go back to our mixture and we are ready to put it in the sufuria where we're going to use to bake it, and then put it right into the oven. I'm just going to excuse the noise pollution because, you know, life has to go on. But we are going to pour this just like that. If you want, you can just go around like that. And I think you can watch the consistency. This is actually thicker than how it mostly comes out. It depends on the amount of milk and flour that you used. So if the ratio is even, that is going to be the consistency. But if you want a lighter consistency, then you're going to use more milk than flour. Alright. Also, sort of a quick tip. You need to, this depends on your amount of sugar that you really want to eat, and if you don't mind, you can just, you know, try and taste it. So that is the sugar that I can handle in a cake. If you can't handle too much sugar, there's no problem, you can use less sugar, okay? So this is how it looks, and areas like this is where it's gonna burn because there was no butter here. So you just want to get it off like that, and then there you go. There's not really too much madoido. I'm going to show you once I put it in the fire. So this is the lid I'm using to cover it because it's thicker, so that it doesn't burn on the top, and also if it rises too much it doesn't push it out. Okay, on to our oven. Now when it's ready like this, you're just gonna put your cake in very steady and very carefully so that you don't get burnt by the sides of the sufuria, because your hands have to slowly get the cake down there. There we go, our cake is inside. But as you can see, it's sort of centered. Let me try to center it a little bit. Just like that, and make sure it's actually quite covered. And then here's one tip that I'm also going to share with you. When you're using the Jiko, the cake gets ready faster than when you're using the electric oven. I don't know why, I don't know how, but this charcoal Jiko oven gets your cake very ready very fast. So you don't want to put the normal time that people normally put, and then it gets burnt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my time right now and actually give myself like 20 minutes before I come and check it. You know, normally when you're using the electric oven, some people put their cake in for like 30 to 45 minutes, but I'm just going to use 20 minutes. And as you can see, the Jiko's what is that, air inlet is open, fully open, so that we have maximum heat. But at around say 10 minutes, when I know that the cake has got up to the heat of the oven, you see this space around here is what creates the oven environment, that vacuum to just trap the air and get it heated. That is what is going to work for us. And so yeah, at around 10 minutes I'm going to just push in the lid a little bit to reduce the amount of air getting in, and also to reduce the heat so it doesn't get burnt instead of cooked. Is it cooked or baked? And then this is our final this is just a big tray that has been working for me. It has been working as the lid because it can actually cover this big sufuria, and so it acts as the lid. Don't mind if you've never seen this kind of things. Trust me, you want to learn these things, because this is how you survive when technology and the economy gets bad and technology fails you. Okay, yeah, so let me check the time before I am too late, and then I'll get back to you when it's time to check. So it's now 12:52, and I have I'm gonna give myself 20 minutes as I said, so that I'm going to come and check and see the progress. Hello guys, and welcome back. Trust me, you are not ready for this. Okay, so I can already smell that it's baked and it's kind of ready. When you start smelling that it's ready, do not hesitate any further, because in like any more 5 minutes additional, it could get burnt. Okay, and so let me just tell you what time it is now. I put it 12:52. Okay, and so those are, how many minutes are those? Those are, yeah, like 20 what minutes, 24 minutes, 22 minutes. Guys, the smell I'm getting, and of course I'm using pepper so that I don't get burnt. Let me show you. I'm also going to surprise myself. You guys, look at it. It's even cracked on top. That means it's really cooked. But now the moment of truth is when we use this, the knife, to check. So this is the trade. I think but you just dip it in like that until the bottom of the cake, and then you pull it out, and you have to, oh, it's cooked, you guys. Oh oh my, you see, when it's not ready, I wish I could have showed you when earlier on so that we read. And even how I'm feeling it going in. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is ready. Okay, I'm so excited because I was really craving the cake. And you know, so this is the thing. This is what I was talking about. You see how it has gone on here? I wish you could see better, but these other sides are clean, but now here is where the mixture went to, and it's burnt. And so if it sticks, you see when I put the knife through across, you can see just, oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna get it out and then we shall go ahead and dive in. Not dive in, but like show you guys, because it has to cool down a bit before we can taste. Also, just a quick note, this is the amount of charcoal left, as I didn't add any charcoal throughout the baking. Okay, what I started with, I just filled the charcoal all the way around here, and then it started burning. I put the sand on top. It started heating for like 10 or let's say 10 minutes, not 30 minutes as I said earlier. 10 minutes, because it really heats fast. And then you make sure you maintain the lid, the air inlet, so there's not too much heat. And then you don't add any charcoal. If you know, you'll just know when you need more fire. But like, if you filled it up here and you didn't leave the sand heating too long, then your charcoal is not used up by the time you start baking. Okay, so you really don't need to add any. For like just 20 minutes, as you saw, I used 20 minutes. Guys, can you hear that? Like, it's still cooking and baking when I've already gotten it out for like 5 minutes. And just that, this just tells you that this was